everybody. We're the Babes of Bourbon. I am Megan.
And I am Eric.
And today we are reviewing...
A little book.
Or reviewing. I said we're reviewing...
A little book, chapter 5, The Invitation.
Invitation?
Yes.
Okay, The Invitation.
Yes.
You know what? When you were I'm not making fun of you. When you said it, it sounded like a mixture of innovation and invitation, which made me laugh because as I was like reading on the bottle, the first time I read it, I thought it said innovation was its name. And then I kept talking about innovation. And then it's like, no, the invitation. And I was like, what? So you doing that just
I was just trying
made
to
me feel better.
So
it wasn't to make me feel better.
No.
Anywho, guys, welcome to our little book chapter. So, what are your thoughts? What about the bottle, Eric? Anything you want to say off the bat?
It's a Jim Beam bottle. It comes from the Jim Beam family. It sort of looks like Booker's, but it's not Booker's.
That's right.
We got it for Christmas.
We did. My mom worked very hard on getting us this bottle.
Yes.
So thanks, Mom.
Thank you. It was
Appreciate you.
Awesome.
It was an awesome present.
Yes.
And if you guys have seen our channel, you know that we love Booker. Like, some people may not be as big of a fan of it as we are, but we love that rich, nutty flavor in general. Aside from straight up Jim Beam, we really like Jim Beam products quite a bit. Although I can't knock straight up Jim Beam because I've never really drank it.
Knob Creek's a great value.
Knob Creek is a great value. But back to our little book here. This is a project from Freddie No, and Freddie is the 8th generation, I believe he's the master distiller.
Yes.
At Jim Beam. So 8th generation in the Jim Beam family. This is called Little Book because his grandfather was Booker, and he was very close with his grandfather, and his grandfather used to call him Little Book after himself, which is cute. A little nice homage to that. Cute little history, great packaging.
Yes, it is awesome. And I think it's a blend of 2-year, 3-year, 5-year, and 15-year-old Raisin bourbons.
It is. And they specifically call out, too, that the base of it is the 2-year bourbon, which to me is very interesting because I feel like a 2-year bourbon really doesn't have a lot of the flavors that I enjoy because I really like what comes out with the oak and nuttiness from that wood. However, he's challenging the perception that young bourbon equals bad bourbon.
Yeah, normally Little Book does some sort of experimental thing. It's an annual release. They do something a little experimental.
Yeah. And it values for about $130. $130 MSRP. I looked at, as I was looking online just about the bottle, they were selling some for like $300.
Yeah, it's super rare to find, and it's hard to find this bottle.
Mom worked very hard.
Yes.
Both our parents did really good this year with the bourbon gifting. It was very nice. Now, I will say it's very hard to drink this and not just compare it to Booker and treat it as its own whiskey.
But I don't think that's what we should be doing. So
it's not what we should be doing, but it is very hard.
Yes.
And there will be close-up pictures of the beautiful packaging on our Babes of Bourbon Instagram if you want to go check them out, guys. What do you get on the nose?
It's subtle. I am getting those rye spices.
I'm getting a little bit of charred oak.
I am getting
a little smokiness.
Yes, I was just going to say that, and maybe a little leather.
Yeah, it smells a little that way. I would say it's a little more of a subtle nose.
And
which makes sense that it's based on a 2-year. It does have like Eric said, the 5 and the 15-year bourbon in it, but when you're basing it off of a 2, you wouldn't expect the nose to be as striking.
There's a little cinnamon in here, I would say. But other than that,
I feel like we hit it.
Yeah.
I hope we hit it. If we didn't, you should go out and get a pour.
If you go on like Jim Beam's website, normally they're pretty simple on their descriptions.
No, that's interesting. I had gotten a little bit of smokiness on the nose from like charred oak, but then as I took a taste, I definitely got smokiness in the flavor. I need to do a second sip. If you saw me in the beginning, I did take a sneak sip because I forgot that I needed to wait.
I did too, after I saw you do that.
I get smoky like right away. And then as it sits in my mouth, the finish, I do get some nutty flavor.
Yep.
That's like a Jim Beam signature.
Yeah, I get the charred oak, a little bit of that nuttiness, a little bit of that rye coming through, the rye that's in there.
And that's interesting because Eric, you always get different flavors and nose from me, and usually when we look it up, he's the one that's spot on, and I'm over here in La La Land. I would say like 60% of the time you can taste things that I don't with bourbon. I don't drink it quite as much as he does. I don't get much rye flavor in here. For me, it's like smoke bomb nuttiness.
I get like a little rye and a little like minty green flavor in there. I don't know if it's mint or some sort of other
crispness on the
herbal green in there.
I like your shirt. I see what you're saying with the mint. Because in the finish, there is that like a little bit of like mint leaf coming through.
And then the finish, I'm getting like a cinnamon red hot finish on there. Like it's just cinnamon all day.
That is so weird.
What are you getting on the finish?
Not cinnamon. I'm getting that like minty finish, like a nutty mintiness.
I would say it's like cinnamon, mint, a little mint, almost like big red gum is what I'm getting. I don't think there's any mint in big red gum, but
you're like, it's gum, it's gotta have some mint, right? I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This is probably one of the most difficult whiskeys that I've had to identify flavors. Like usually when I'm sipping it, I feel like, oh, this is sticking out to me, this is sticking out to me. And I don't know if it's because it's super experimental.
Yeah.
That we're not familiar with what's in here. Sorry, I paused as if to give you something to say, and I was like, no, not done yet. Sorry, babe. No, that one's your turn.
There's also like oak in here, but it's not like the traditional oak. It's almost like, I don't know how to describe it. It tastes different. It's almost like wet. Wet
like
oak.
Wet wood. Oh, God. Oh, I have no idea what that even means. Like wet wood. Hold on, let me do this.
Like if you're in the forest and there's wood, I imagine it tasting like that. You just took a bite of it.
I can't even. No, I don't know. No. What I will say also for this bottle, you can see that we've drank some of it. The neck pour, I'm just going to be transparent, wasn't great.
No, it was
like
one of the most disappointing pours.
It was.
For a $130 bottle.
And we've kept it open. Yeah, we've kept it open since Christmas. We've let it breathe quite a bit. And now, I would say it is much tastier and I'm enjoying drinking it. Where when we first poured it, I don't think either of us really enjoyed that pour off the bat. But now, I feel like it's very tasty and interesting.
It's good. It's different.
Yes.
Should we get into the rating?
We should get into the rating.
Yes. So no's.
Out of?
3. We've simplified things. Or at least we tried to.
I give it a 1.5 on the nose. I'm hitting it right in the middle because I don't think there's much that stands out on the nose, but it's also still pleasant.
I'll give it a 1.5 as well.
Yeah.
It's a pleasant nose. It's subtle. If you keep going back, there's a few little different nuances in there, which I enjoy. But it's not like some bourbons where it just hits you.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, this smells delicious.
Yeah.
It just is a good smelling bourbon.
Yeah. What would you give the flavor out of 4?
Whew.
I'm giving it a 2.75. The reason is I don't think it's quite at the 3 because I really enjoy very bold, rich flavors in my bourbon. I like something to stand out. Like I do really enjoy when I take a sip of something and I'm like, yes.
I am going to give it a 2.5. I don't think it's I'm bringing price into this.
I knew he was bringing price. I was literally looking at him and I was like, should I ask him if it's because it's $130?
Yes, it is.
I agree.
It doesn't live up to what I would expect from a $130 bottle, but that's not saying that I don't enjoy it. I still do. It just, I would expect a little more boldness out of the price range.
If it was priced the same as Booker's, I would be like, I would think it would make more sense because it's very, like, you can tell it's a Jim Beam product.
Yeah.
And it's different. It's very different than Booker's. But they're at least, like, comparable if you put them at the same price range. Where when you're pricing this one $40, $40 to $50 above Booker's, and then this one has, like, more subtle flavoring than bold. It makes you question, like, why is this one more expensive?
Yeah, we like the bold flavors.
We do like the bold flavors. And for $130, what are the bottles that we've had? We've had the Bardstown Prisoner. We've had the very fine rare bourbon from Woodford. And the Discovery 4 from
and
Bardstown.
3, which we had a
And 3.
sample of.
That's true. And all of those, I would say of those other 130 bottles, the very fine rare bourbon from Woodford knocked it out of the frickin' park. There wasn't even a park. It was just gone. And the others at least lived up to the price where it made sense to me.
Yep.
I think this one's overpriced.
Yes. But finish.
Are you telling me to finish or you want me to rate the finish?
I want you to rate
Finish
the
my
finish.
speech. Out of 3, I would give the finish... I would give it a 1.75. I don't think it's quite at the 2 for me, but I still think it's pleasant.
I am going to give the finish actually a 2 out of 3. I enjoy the finish. I do get those like red hot notes that I enjoy. I do think that the finish was like the taste and the nose.
Yeah.
I could definitely see this being a $130 bottle. I enjoy the finish quite a bit. It's a nice long finish. You do get that oak with a little bit of like that cinnamon red hot flavor.
Yeah.
So I will give it a 2 out of 3.
And that makes sense. I would say for Little Book though, like I'm still really excited that we got this bottle and got to try it, especially because of how much it's changed from the neck pour to now. I think it's probably going to continue to change as it breathes a little bit. But going forward, I think I would rather purchase a pour at a whiskey bar before buying the bottle.
Absolutely. Unless if I read the description of the bottle and there was more age to it and a little more proof, then I would definitely consider just going for it. Because if you find a bottle on the shelf, it is extremely hard to find this bottle. So
Yeah, it is.
I would just go for it.
I know, but I'm like, I'm going to pour it first. Would I ever really pass it up since you don't see it anywhere? No, I wouldn't.
So, what was your final score?
Oh, I have absolutely no idea what that math was. Thank you for asking. I did 1.5, and then I did 2.75, and then I did 1.75.
Well, mine was a 6 out of 10.
I think mine was a 6.75.
Yep. So, for both of us, a
My
good
math could be
bourbon.
wrong.
Again, not exceptional.
Yeah.
I'd be happy if I got it as a pour at a bar.
Yeah.
for trying something new. It's definitely going to give you a unique experience.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely will.
you may really enjoy it,
You could.
and if you bought the bottle,
Yeah. And we're people that really like barrel proof, like straight up barrel proof. We don't really put our bourbon over ice at all. So like, we want something that's gonna knock our socks off in flavor. And this is just a whiskey. I don't think we can call it bourbon because there's rye in it.
yeah.
Is it whiskey?
I would say it's I think they call them like
A bourbon whiskey?
Burrise.
A Burrise? I'm not calling it that. I do think there's like a sect of people that would really enjoy the more subtle flavors. And I'm still gonna drink it and enjoy it and love it.
Yeah, there's a little leather in there too as I drink it more. But
yeah,
it is a complex bourbon.
It is.
Just wish it had like that extra punch in the mouth.
I know. Just a little. The nose needs to be elevated a little bit. The punch in the mouth needs to be elevated just a little bit. The finish is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's our critique. But guys, we are going to be trying more Jim Beam products over time because again, we've really enjoyed them. We've got a Knob Creek
12 year.
that may be sitting back there that we have keyed up for a video soon. If you do see a bottle of Knob Creek out there, you should try and buy it because it is a great value for the price.
Especially those store picks.
Oh yeah, I love store picks.
Definitely buy Knob Creek store picks. They're
thumbs up.
Phenomenal. But like, subscribe,
comment, share, and most of all, I hope you enjoyed this video tonight.
Yes, and I hope you have a great night.
Cheers.